You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows like the one you're about to enjoy, visit electronicmediacollective.com. And now, our feature presentation.
This is Storm Thomas.
Hey everybody, this is Mike Rotunda, also known as IRS, Erwin Shyster, formerly with WWF.
I am the unsolved mystery JT Energy.
This is Lars Metzger.
This is Almighty Christopher Daniel.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your golden boy, Bryce Jordan.
This is the world's greatest pop icon, Donnie Pepper Cricket, sometimes known as the Dundee Strangler, Brandon Juarez.
Hey everybody, this is Rip Studwell.
Hello everybody, it's Ethan Everhart.
What is up, wrestling world? This is the resident rock star of Impact Pro Wrestling, Adam Love. Woo!
It's the Cornbelt Cowboy, the one called Manders, and you're listening to Shotgun Wrestling Radio.
Welcome everybody to another edition of Shotgun Wrestling Radio. I'm your host, Zach Takins, and tonight we are being joined by one half of the voice of Absolute Pro Wrestling as we are breaking down the upcoming show this coming Saturday in Waterloo, Iowa. That's right, professional wrestling returns to Waterloo, Iowa, and we have the one and the only BadgerCallhoun joining us on the show for the very first time. Badger, welcome to the show, my friend. It's great to have you.
Hey, thank you for having me on here. Yes, I do the play-by-play for Absolute Pro Wrestling, and like you said, we got a heck of a show this Saturday in Waterloo.
Absolutely, we do, and absolute pun intended there. And
yes.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great time. This will be my first Absolute Pro show that I'm finally attending. I keep telling Jason I owe him a show. I've owed him a show for a very long time. And I finally pulled the trigger and told my wife, I'm like, I'm going to Absolute Pro this weekend, since it's not normally I try not to do back-to-back weekends away from home, so that's typically why I kind of have to really be careful about my shows I'm choosing, and if I'm on commentary for somebody one weekend. But I'm excited to get up to Absolute Pro, especially for this one. Jason's been hyping this one up for me for quite some time. Said if I'm going to get to a show, this is going to be the one to get.
Yes, with our Winter Brawl Classic we got this weekend, it's kind of like our Royal Rumble, which is going to lead into our Super Slam 2. So this is a heck of a show for you, for this to be the one you come to first.
Now, why don't you talk a little bit, man, about how you kind of got involved with Absolute? Because, again, you've been there pretty much since the beginning, and you and Tom Chillstrom from the 2 Count, our buddies over there, you guys make one hell of a tag team there on commentary. And, why don't you just talk about how you got involved with Absolute Pro?
Yeah, I love Tom Chillstrom. I've learned so much from that guy personally. I couldn't do it without him. But no, I love what we're doing over at Absolute Pro Wrestling. How I got into it was I actually went to their September 25th, 2022 show in Fort Dodge that year. And I just went up to my old buddy, Brandon Eubanks, and I was like, hey, Shank, could I get back into the business somehow? Because I had taken a step away from it, for a bit, because I was a wrestler, but then I had just, taken a break. I'd gotten into a slog with that. But I can't stay away. I love the business too much. So I was like, anything, let me put together the ring. Let me do anything. And he was like, well, could you come on and do some commentary for us? And I'm like, heck yeah, let me do that. And as soon as we both turned around to go our separate ways, I was like, oh crap, I got to talk on the microphone, dude. What am I going to say? So finally the day came where I debuted my commentary at Gold Rush, and Gold Rush 2022 that year, November 5th. And man, it's just been going great ever since.
And for those who have never done commentary, it can be very intimidating at first. Like that first time you get behind mic, if you've never done it before, it's kind of like that deer in headlights thing. For me personally, I'm sure it is for a lot of fans that have wanted to do it. Bad commentary can ruin a good match. We've seen it before, and that's why I for so long was scared to try it. Because I'm like, what if I suck? You know what I mean? Like I don't want to toot my own horn, but I'm like, God, bad commentary can really ruin a good match.
No, you're absolutely right. And the opposite too. Sometimes good commentary can, make a bad match look really good, and I guess you could call it dumb luck, dumb confidence, overconfident, but I just got in there and I really enjoy it. It took me a long while to get out of my shell because I'm one of those introverted guys that, I don't know how to really react around a crowd, around a lot of people. But when I've got Tom here, Tom Chilstrom, I feel like he and I could we go back and forth. I can't even describe it to you to this day. It's just the chemistry he and I have, and we bounce off of each other so well. And I think, that together just really brings things together.
Yeah, again, and I think it helps for Tom too, especially with his comedic background and then doing the 2 count with the other boys. And I think that's what's even helped me is doing this podcast for so many years. You don't realize how much, actually talking about wrestling can actually help you in another line of professional wrestling.
Right. And you're absolutely right about that. Just talking about wrestling, I feel like is us commentators getting our reps in, as so they say, we get our practice in just by talking about wrestling, just by going over matches, talking about the moves, talking about the history, talking about the culture itself. It's a whole different thing. And I feel so great when I'm doing commentary because my absolute pun intended goal for commentary is to help people believe in wrestling, believe in what we're doing, believe in the product, believe in the talent. And maybe there's a point to where they look around, they're sitting in the crowd and they start to believe it themselves. Suspend your disbelief for a couple hours and just enjoy what you're seeing in front of you.
Yeah, no, for sure, man, and it's a lot of fun, and especially for somebody like me who never really had a desire to actually get in the ring and be a wrestler. I've always felt like commentating is like the next best thing. You know what I mean? Like you get to look up to some of those greats, and yeah, I absolutely enjoy doing it whenever I get a chance to do it. And let's go ahead, man, and let's start breaking down the show because we have an absolute stacked card here.
Let me get my Capri Sun.
And I know, again, as far as tickets go, first and second row are already sold out, which is awesome.
Yes, they are out. Sorry,
and they've been
no
sold
more
out
tickets.
They've been sold out for quite some time. General admission is available for $10, which again, $10 in this day and age is not a bad price at all. So if you
not bad at all.
Yeah, if you're looking for something to do this Saturday night, $10 tickets. It's going to be a fun show. Let's kick it off, man. We're going to go ahead and start with Bryce Jordan facing off against the debuting Webster Prince. I'm not even sure if I've heard of the name Webster Prince, but I've seen Bryce Jordan in the ring many a times in my time in the Iowa Midwest scene.
Well, I tell you what, if he's thinking about stepping in the ring with somebody like Bryce Jordan, it's going to be a high-flying, just back and forth, right? Because with Bryce Jordan, he doesn't back down from anybody. And with, you gotta, it says something about the attitude of a newcomer to come into our promotion and look right at one of the tag team champions and say, I want to take on that guy my first time here. I want to make an impact and I want to make a statement.
Yeah, for sure. And again, I'm not too familiar with Webster Prince. What can you say from what you've heard about him? We know how good Bryce is, and I think this is a true testament from APW management to say, hey, you're going to debut, and guess what? You're debuting against Bryce Jordan. Good luck.
Right. And you know what? I feel the same way you feel. Good luck against Bryce Jordan. But maybe this kid can shock us. Maybe he's got some surprises. He's got some surprises for Bryce Jordan. He's got some surprises for Waterloo.
Yeah, for sure. I'm really excited to see. I always love seeing new faces come on to the Iowa wrestling scene. That's one thing I've noticed about Absolute Pro here this year as you guys have kicked off your 2024 season. You've actually already started to debut quite a few new talent. We saw it at last week's show at Fort Dodge and now again here this week, and it's just super exciting. Another one that's going to be really exciting for this coming week, Jay Wesley taking on Damian Saint. Damian Saint's been on a roll on the Iowa scene lately, and I just saw him last week against the Death Dealer for Central Empire Wrestling, and I don't feel like I've seen Damian. I've known him since the very beginning. I don't think I've seen him this rejuvenated since he first got into wrestling. So it's been very exciting for me as a fan and a friend of his to watch.
Yes. What can you say? The guy is just nonstop talented. He's got a lot of momentum going behind him. He recently competed in a triple threat match for a chance at Ethan Everhart, our world champion, and got a shot didn't necessarily work out for him, but that's not stopping him any because, he's going after Jay Wesley this weekend and hoping he can get back into the heavyweight contendership for the Absolute Pro Wrestling title. And making a statement against somebody like Jay Wesley, who has also been on that same trajectory, that's going to be a heck of a clash. And definitely a clash of styles as well, because we know that Damian Saint, hard-hitting guy. I mean, if he hits you with that Falcon Arrow, it's damn near next to over, or any of those hard, stiff kicks that he's got. I saw him just this last Friday. Against Ethan Everhart, and they were just chopping, kicking the crap out of each other. So I'm hoping we get to see that same kind of just ferocity this weekend in Waterloo.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. It's been a while since I've seen Jay Wesley in a ring, so I'm excited to see how far he's come from the last time I've seen him in the ring. But yeah, for him to go in there and take on a guy like Damian Saint, this is going to be a real tall task for Mr. Jay Wesley, especially to prove himself to APW management here.
Absolutely, absolutely, man.
So continuing on down the line here, man, we also have Victor Payne defending his APW Openweight Championship against Cole Cannon. I talked to Cole the other day. He was just telling me about how much Waterloo absolutely loves him.
Oh yeah, he just does. Give him a chance and he'll run his mouth without you even asking him to.
That he does, man. That he does. And we know Cole has not been the same ever since he lost that openweight championship. And you know damn well he's gonna do anything and everything he can to get that title back.
Well, anything and everything, because he recently got in contact with an attorney of his, and he came after Absolute Pro Wrestling and demanded a title shot this weekend, or he's going to sue us.
Does he have the money for
you know how that goes. Yeah.
Does he have the money for that?
Well, we'll find out. We'll find out. We're going to call his bluff. And we're going to call him out in Waterloo on Saturday. So if he's listening, I hope he hears that much at least.
Yeah, again, that's going to be a really great one. It's been super exciting to see guys like Victor Payne, because I know Victor Payne was gone for quite some time, and it's awesome to see guys like that back in the ring. Those are the guys that I get excited for, because you know how much them wrestling means to them. And again, let's go before we get to the main event, because we got some other stuff here I want to talk about.
Sure.
At one of the last year's shows, Maddie Starr, Jax King, and Leo Santel basically threw out an open challenge for this weekend. And we've seen the poster for Absolute Pro this weekend. We know there's going to be a lot of talent there. Out of everybody on the poster, is there a trio in there that you think could work well together that could stop these three?
When you got it, that's a really good question. Gosh, when you got a guy like Matty Starr, you got the young, quick, just up and coming talent of Jackson King, and then you've got just the cerebral, technical prowess of Leo Santel. It's hard to answer that question, but I got to say, after what I saw last time in Waterloo, our tag team champions, Du Bois, and our world champion, Ethan Everhart, they have a dog in this fight. I honestly think if anybody can step up to them, it would be those guys. It would be those three.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And especially when anytime you add Matty Starr to a group, you already have an edge just because of his veteran presence. I mean, he's been doing this since like 2004, 2005.
Yes, long time.
I started going to Iowa independent shows in 2005, and Matty was there. So that shows how long for sure Matty's been in the game. And like I said, any young talent that is wanting to, form a faction like this, man, that's a dangerous leader to have there. Matty Starr, a guy who's seen it all. I mean, just a few years back, the dude wrestled the Ultimo Dragon in Waterloo, and just the lineage of talent that Matty has faced over the years. And the scary thing is, and I tell people this all the time, Matty's only getting better with age. Matty's not slowing down. He's only getting better.
You're absolutely right. And when a guy like that extends his hand to you, you'd be stupid not to take it, But careful getting under the wing of a dragon, because it's hotter than you think, boys. That's all I'm going to say about that. We all know Matty Starr. We all know how cunning he can be.
Yeah, again, Matty has learned from the best over his years, from both good and bad. So again, always keep that in the back of your head. We've seen Matty take many different directions in his past. So
yes,
it's again, I'm curious to see who's going to stop that trio, because even Jackson King, dude, Jackson King, since he's boomed onto the scene, he's one of the toughest, quickest. I mean, the dude is just so damn good for not even really doing this for that long. I mean, I know he started kind of right before the pandemic hit. It was kind of right when he first came onto the scene here, and he's just again another one that's just getting better and better, and he's really damn fun to watch. So again, you add those two together, anything is possible. And then you add Leo to the group as well, and just, oh my goodness, man.
Those three definitely knew what they were doing, because you've got an elite grappler, you've got an elite striker, and then you've got the elite mind. You've got the man with the plan. So I'm anxious to see what's going to happen this weekend in Waterloo. I'm a little afraid to see what's going to happen this weekend in Waterloo. I'm a little apprehensive.
And again, that's not all that's happening. As you mentioned at the top of the show here, we also have the big Royal, I guess it's our version of the Royal Rumble, where you said a winner gets to go on and get a title shot eventually here. And man, just looking at
big opportunity.
Looking at this poster again, and of guys who are going to be in this thing again, Cole Cannon, I'm sure will be in the Battle Royal. You got Shanky Boy here. You got Quavon Orlando. You got Aiden Perrin. You got Mason Reaper, Damian Saint, obviously.
Mason Reaper.
I mean, just so much talent that is going to come through here.
We were just talking about him: Jackson King, Anthony Draven, Aaron Von Baron, resident rock star Adam Love. I mean, you name it, they're going to be there.
Yeah, I mean, that's just an absolutely stacked pool of talent that we have coming up in this Battle Royal, where a winner is going to get a shot at the APW title down the line. And I'm going to put you on the spot here, man. If you had to pick who's going to be all right, I'll give you two options here. I'll let you pick somebody who you think is a surefire winner and somebody who would be a wild card pick.
Ooh, wild card. Wild card. I'm gonna go with wild card. I'd have to go with Jay Wesley. Jay Wesley, and heavy hitter winner. Who do I think is gonna win? Gosh, that's a hard question. That's a good question. That's a good question. God, you know what? The Shank. I got to go with the Shank.
I like your pick, Shanky Boy there. I think if I were going to go with a surefire winner, Shanky Boy would be my pick, because that dude just loves himself some battle royals. And again, he's a tough son of a bitch. I don't care what people say.
Yeah, he's the Energizer Bunny, man. He just takes a hit and keeps on going.
Yes, that he does. That he does, man. He's just one of those dudes. And if I had to go with a wild card pick, I'm gonna go with my boy Quavon Orlando. I think he's got a lot to prove, and I think
the charm. Really, let's go.
I think he's been really putting in some work here over the last several months, just at different places, and I'm excited to see what he's going to start bringing here to the Iowa independent scene.
Yes, let's go.
So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Again, this is all going down to this coming Saturday, Waterloo, Iowa. That's right. Professional wrestling returns to Waterloo, Iowa. And speaking of professional wrestling in Waterloo, this doesn't really have to do with Absolute Pro, but I did want to give a shout out here on the show to a Waterloo legend by the name of Thunderbolt Patterson, taking his rightful place in the WWE Hall of Fame. How fucking cool is that? We're seeing an Iowa native.
I think if you're an Iowa wrestling fan, an Iowa wrestler, it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling to feel acknowledged.
I mean, I know there was a lot of wrestling fans, and again, I've told myself for a long time, don't read comments. I know there was a lot of wrestling fans who didn't really know what Thunderbolt Patterson meant to professional wrestling over the years, but anybody that's been in Iowa knows the name Thunderbolt Patterson. Thunderbolt Patterson's a regular at the George Tragos Luthez Hall of Fame weekend every single year. And yeah, man, it's just so cool to see him get that recognition from WWE, especially to he's still here with us to be able to celebrate that. So that's going to be a lot of fun for him, and I'm super excited for him and super excited for the city of Waterloo too. That's a really cool spotlight for them.
Yeah, that's a big deal. Waterloo, they love their wrestling, and we love to bring it to them, and we're going to bring all of that this Saturday night.
And while I got you here still, we have one more match to talk about, and this one's going to be a really great one here. We have Ethan Everhart defending his APW championship against Alvin Falcone, and man, what can you say about this? I mean, Ethan's been such a fighting champion ever since he won that title, and I think you're gonna have to pry it from his hands with a crowbar if you think that he is going to give up that title. I don't think it's gonna be I don't think it's gonna be an easy task for anybody, not just Alvin, but anybody coming for him.
Yeah, Ethan's very strong, so you're gonna need a lot of crowbar power to pry it from him. But like you said, Ethan Everhart, fighting champion. Ever since he won it from Matty Starr, he's been defending it, and he's been showing why he is the champion. And you got a guy like Alvin Falcone, who just came out of nowhere on the scene and just started dominating the heavyweight division. I mean, he's racking up wins in Absolute Pro Wrestling. And, at some point you feel like the guy is entitled to a title shot. Well, it's a non-title shot this weekend, but if he can put on a good enough performance and, make a good impression and maybe even get a win, there may be a title shot opportunity for him in the future, which I hope so, because I'm a big fan of Alvin Falcone. The guy is a massive powerhouse, and he can hit like a freight train.
Well, it's good to know. Alvin's the guy I'm not too familiar with, so I'm excited to see what he's going to be able to bring against a guy like Ethan. I've seen.
Oh, you're in for something, man. You're in for something.
Yeah, I'm excited. Again, I'm always excited when I get to see new talent because you get to go into it with a fresh perspective. You don't have any preconceived judgments there or anything. And yeah, it's gonna be a great night. Again, we got some debuting talent coming up here for APW. We have a huge battle royal, and yeah, it's gonna be. Is there one match in particular for you, man, that you're just super pumped for, or are you just excited in general for the whole card, or is there just one match that you're kind of itching to call that you think is just going to absolutely tear the house down?
Man, you know what? I'm itching to call everything. And that's one of the greatest things about being a commentator, man. You don't have to hype yourself up for like one match a night. You get to call them all, man. So I feel fortunate to just call them all. But if I'm hyped up for one of them, it's got to be that it's got to be that Winter Brawl Classic. It's got to be 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 people in that ring just fighting for the opportunity to hunt Ethan Everhart's world heavyweight title. So I'm excited for that one.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going down this Saturday night. I believe there's still tickets available online. You can send a message over to the Absolute Pro Facebook page, and they'll get you set up. Or there are general admission tickets available at the door for only $10. Yep. Front row and second row seats are sold out. Give a special shout out to some of the sponsors that are able to help with this event as well. Starbucks Smokehouse, the 2 Count, Comedy Meets Wrestling. That show airs every Tuesday night on Twitch. Hopefully, as you're listening to this on Tuesday, you can tune into that show tonight on Twitch. Flooring Images and Rookhouse Rose Tattoo are all great sponsors for Absolute Pro Wrestling here in the Waterloo area. And man, as we get ready to head into this week's show, is there anything left that you would like to say to somebody that is thinking about going to the show that may still be on the fence? What would you have to say to them?
For anybody that's thinking about going to the show, maybe on the fence about it. I guess for a lot of people, the problem is, going to an indie wrestling show. Oh, I don't know who the people are. I don't know who the characters are. I don't know what's going on. Well, just give it a try. Come on in. We've got plenty of room for you. You'll understand what's going on pretty quick. We don't take jabs. We don't try to hide anything from anybody. It's pretty straightforward, pretty simple what we're doing. It's a family-friendly show. So just come on out, give it a chance.
And where can people follow you at for folks that would like to follow you on social media? Obviously, you can find Absolute Pro Wrestling anywhere. Just search Absolute Pro Wrestling and you'll be able to find the fine folks here from Absolute Pro. But if people want to follow Badger Calhoun, where can they follow you at?
I don't have an Instagram. I don't have anything like that that extends farther than just my Facebook. So if you want to reach me, I got Facebook.
All right, there you have it, folks. And again, Badger, thanks for coming on the show tonight.
Hey,
That's
thank
gonna do
you,
it for us
man.
here. Hopefully, we'll see everybody at the show Saturday night in Waterloo, Iowa. For more information, head over to Absolute Pro Wrestling's Facebook page. And until next time, we'll see you right here on the World Wide Web.
All right.